Thank you for being with us. Thank you. We have a few more minutes to start up. Thank you. Would you be kind if you've joined on Zoom to make introductions of yourselves? You can never tell. And if you are there on YouTube, thank you for joining. We're going to have really good, terrific time today. All right, so let's fasten our seatbelts. You are in the room. Would you please introduce yourself in the chat room? Come in there, please. Tell us who you are, your name, and what you do, if you don't mind. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Good to meet you, Blossom. That's Blossom. Yes, let me also introduce myself. I am Yes, no volumes. You're very right. So good evening once again, everyone. You're welcome with us tonight as we run the second edition of this legendary program called The Legends. Interesting, yes, I'm sure. Yes, Prof is in the room. It's gonna be hot today, hot. Prof, I'm sure we'll have the privilege of seeing your face. I hope I told you, I believe so. Yeah. So we can see your face. Yes. Right, while that is ongoing, just before we get into that's Prof, my goodness, Prof, oh my, I'm excited already. Prof, oh Prof. Business School Netherlands. Prof is going to be all right. So before, a few of us have seen him already, but some of you've not started to see him, but it's fine. Okay. So when we're trying to introduce ourselves, yes, and I've seen quite a number of introductions. Yes. Bukola Jejeluye, you're an educator. Yes. And then I think I saw your Blossom, the customer experience expert. Ugochi Oyema, yes, an economics and a businesswoman, yes, and then an iPhone. Okay, an iPhone says, oh my goodness, that's Dr. Fumi Babintina Shaya and Sharon Koto. That's another of my sisters and friends. Yes, there we go. Engineer Yoyebanjo, that's my husband and the owner of this vision, okay? An engineer, an entrepreneur. All right, okay. Yes, somebody is greeting Prof. Yes, we know that we're going to have a terrific time. All right, so let me stop sharing first. So we have the, and let me try and bring Prof in. Professor, where are you? Prof. Would you please, before we make welcome Prof very officially, I want to try and see where Prof is. Yes, and I'm seeing quite a number of people in the room. Thank you for joining. It's a good time and a good space to also begin to share. You may want to try to bring in one or two other persons to join us. All right, while Prof, which we are bringing Prof in another few minutes, just few minutes. All right. So let's speak to quickly the visions because of our time. The vision, what is this all about? What is this all about? Right. What is this all about? Right. So the legends are experienced senior citizens that have generational clout, and they have proven wings, to help us soar. In essence, these are people in the within the community or in the environment or in the nation or outside the nation, as the case may be, who have proven themselves, with real strong impact. What we can see, achievements that are laudable, and they come with loads of experiences, honestly. And we know that in life, we're able to ride on the shoulders of others to soar. And these people within their space, those who know them. And we just thought we should create this platform for many more people to know them and glean and learn from them, so that the mistakes they made, for example, we don't make them, and the joy they've had, we can learn what those joys are and we can quickly go there, right? So if you're joining us today, please ensure you're really here, actively participating with your questions, because today who we have with us is a teacher, but he's a teacher, he wears many hats. Prof wears many hats, and I'll soon read his profile, which we've shared extensively. It's actually an abridged profile because his main profile is really long, and you expect that, okay? So, and like I said just earlier, I've said this is an initiative for Wisdom Feast. Is by Engineer Uyibanjo. I'm privileged to be the host, and my name is Hannah Uyibanjo. So let's just introduce Professor Lere Baale to you. Like we said, as we shared, to say he's an inspirational business transformational leader with experience, in world-class global firms. I have known Prof for many years, over 20 years. If you are in the pharmaceutical industry in Nigeria, you will know. If you're in the marketing industry, let's put it that way, extended marketing, leadership, professional, you will know Prof any which way. Yes, he's a very active man, In any case, he's a professor of agile organization transformation. Maybe that's why he's that agile, and has served as executive regional director at Pfizer, redesigning and transforming and rebuilding Pfizer Biopharmaceuticals, Nigeria, from zero in Nigeria to over 32 African countries. He's also a director of the World Institute of Action Learning. He sits on the board of many organizations, as you would expect. Of course, Prof is married to an amazing destiny helper, like he says, who is also God's masterpiece, like he put it. And of course, their childhood friends. If I know her, Auntie is a lovely woman. That's another cerebral, fantastic, institution in herself, And currently, Prof is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer at Business School, Netherlands, BSN, Business School, Netherlands. The journey of Prof's life, I know a little, and today I'm excited to want to know more. It's exciting. So when you see people who, they've done career very well, and sometimes some people think that after career, that is 8 to 7, paid employment, that's all. So once you retire or once you leave at 40, 45 or whatever age, that's all. With Prof, and this is one of the things I also emulate, to realize when you leave paid employment, life just starts if you've done the right thing. I don't think I've seen anyone as busy as he is. I'm sure he will tell us about EO and a few other establishment organizations where he believes. Internationally, he's a global icon, respected worldwide. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, you can see Prof in that regalia. There is something, if you can get, I'm going to throw a poster before the end of this program. If you get it, I'm going to buy you a car. Don't ask me what. I'm just going to, just wait. I'm going to throw a poster about Prof. You get it? You're going to get something. Okay, all right. So I think that this juncture, let me quickly do this. Let me bring in Prof. Would you please make welcome? Virtually, give him virtual high five, Prof. Good afternoon, evening, morning. Hello, Prof. Yes, Prof. Thank you, sir. Thank you for honoring us. Thank you, thank you. Can I get you inside? Yes, in the room. You're welcoming, Prof. Welcome, Prof. Yes, like I said, Prof is a teacher, so we are in for a good time. Yes, and it's going to share experience. Prof, you're very welcome, sir.
Thank you.
You know, I'm also a teacher. Me too. I'm not a teacher, but I talk. Let me take it back. Prof, let's meet you. And I know I talk. I know Prof talk. So you guys get ready.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Mrs. Oyebanjo, for the opportunity. Thanks to Pastor, as well your husband and your better half, for giving me this opportunity to come and share just a little bit of my story with you. Since you've already introduced me as a teacher, I'm used to teaching for 9 hours, 8 to 9 hours in a day. So I think you've given me about 15 minutes to talk the first time, if I'm correct. So I will use a timer. Once my timer remains 2 minutes, please indicate, let me know. I was told to just talk a little bit about my life. I started working at a very young age. I started working at the age of about 13 years, or let me say formally, that is earning salary. However, when I was about 6, 7 years old, I started to work when I was in primary school. I had to work in the farm to raise some money. My fee was £1 per term. And I needed to work to be able to pay those fees. Suffice to say that I don't need to say too much. I have lost my biological father at the age of 5. My mom was 38 years old. She lived up to the year 93 years old before she passed on. And so she had 5 kids. And it was not easy to struggle, but through the grace of God. So by the time I was in secondary school, I started to earn salary, working like a vendor, at times like a photographer, at times like a printing press assistant, at times like a wristwatch repairer assistant. I did all kinds of work, and during the holidays, by the time I got to university during the holidays, I learned how to also work during the holidays, because without it, I may not be able to feed, since I did not have scholarship immediately I got to university. I used to eat only once in the day. Okay, I used to pay for meal only once in a day. Food used to be 10 kobo in the morning, 20 kobo in the afternoon, and 20 kobo in the evening. I buy my food in the afternoon, which is 20 kobo, but I go with my private plates, so I didn't put plenty food there, but they give me my allocated meat. And then I split my meat into 2, my food into 2. I eat lunch, and then I eat the second part of the meal late in the night, about 11, since there will be no breakfast for me the following morning, so that I won't be hungry when I'm in class. I survived that and I graduated. I started working for Pfizer, which is the major company that really transformed my life. I started working for Pfizer on August 3, 1981. I was a management trainee, and I worked in virtually all the various departments, including the kitchen, not necessarily cooking. I was doing some microbiological tests on the food prepared each day. I worked in every part of production. And then I was moved to head office, particularly to sales. I was a sales assistant, and I became marketing assistant. And at the end of all my various trainings, I realized that all the people that I need to work with in the head office, particularly in marketing, they were MBA holders. People like George Thorpe, people like Mr. J.K. Additional, people like and eventually I realized I needed an MBA. So I went back to school to have my MBA in 1983. And from there, when I finished my MBA, I came back to Pfizer and I worked as a rep. And from repping, I was moved to become a research and promotion officer. From research and promotion officer, I eventually became what title would I call it? From research and promotion officer, I became a product manager. I was a rep up to 85. I became research and promotion officer in 85. I became a product manager in 86. I became a group product manager in 88. I became a marketing manager in 1990. I went to France to work in 1995. I became a director in 1996. I became a acting country manager in 1997. I became a regional director for West Africa in 1999. And then I became regional director for both West Africa, East and Central Africa by the year 2003 or 4. And then I remained there till 2006 when I left the organization. But along the line, I learned a few things, and part of the things I learned are the things that are more important. I think the story of I've shared a summary of what I was, the titles I held. But when I left Pfizer in 2006, I left because I wanted to do something that aligned with my core shape. What I mean by shape is everybody has a shape. What I have special gifts of God, which some of them have overlapped with other. Talking. So I know that my special gifts include talking. And I know that is the hair, special gifts. And everybody has special gifts. At the age of shape, it's my heart, what I'm passionate about. I was passionate about teaching. And I've become a part-time teacher in various consulting firms and business schools from about the early 90s. I would normally teach inside the teacher's class to come and share the practical aspect of brand management or marketing management. I had also gone for various courses in Harvard, in INSEAD, in IMD, and in Columbia University. And I love the way people impact me when they teach. And I wanted to just impact people. And I knew I wasn't very smooth in terms of speaking phonetics. So I came across a lecturer just said, just speak your language, speak your African language. Don't bother about it. People can understand you. People want to hear you, will hear you. So that built my confidence. So I went first to start to work as a trainer when I left Pfizer, full-time now. I've already become a member of Business School Netherlands set advisors to what is called Action Learning Coach way back in 2003. I was the pioneer Action Learning Coach for BSN, for Business School Netherlands. And so I kept on, I became a part-time teacher in Business School Netherlands in 2004. And so by 2006, when I was leaving, I had more time in my hand to teach in the school. And I think the school was impressed with my performance and they moved me to the board to run the school fully. And so I combined my training activity under the platform of house consulting with my running of the school as the executive director or dean. And this tallies with my passion. I spoke to you about shape. The other thing about shape is S is the special gift. H is the heart, the passion. A is the ability, your competencies. I deliberately built competencies in the area of my assignment. So when I was given work when I started my work as a research and promotion officer, I built competence in marketing research. Immediately, I went into self-study, went for seminars to learn apart from my MBA, so that I could be a specialist in marketing research. And the likes of those early research agencies like RMS, they will know that I went to them to learn. When I became a product manager, I spent on part-time, 6 months with Prof advertising agency. I wanted to learn about brand management. I wanted to know about positioning, segmentation, all the language of marketing. I wanted to understand the value chain of marketing process. And so I was embedded in Prof, tutored and taught by multiple mentors like Lulu Akenwumi, who was then the client service director. And I learned a lot there. And so I built my competencies. That is my my abilities. And so remember, I qualified as a pharmacist, but I moved into marketing. So I had to go back to school to study marketing in order and to have an MBA in order to build my ability in marketing. When I got to the university, I realized the fact that I could teach marketing well because I've practiced marketing for all my career. That was not a difficult thing. I could teach leadership because I've been leaders across multiple countries. However, I was in a new environment, an environment where the people I was relating to as co-lecturers were PhD owners. And so I had to go and do my doctorate degree at the age of 60. So it just tells you that ability is key, competence is important. And so it was not difficult for the school when time was due to look at the totality of what I've been able to do over a 15-year period, and I was eventually made a professor in 2018. Now, let me move to the next ownership. P is your personality. My twin sister spoke about the fact that she talks a lot. Talking a lot, when we were growing up, our parents didn't want us to be talking a lot. And they saw it as, something that was not a good virtue, but that was part of our personality. But talking a lot, my principal in school, who happens to be the one who sponsored me right from my Form 3 or 2 to the time I finished university, Reverend Sister Margaret, actually told me, said, I was told you make a lot of noise. Said, that's very good. John, my Christian name is John. Said, that's very good, John. It was the first time I was seeing a teacher, a principal telling me it was good. But he said, but I want you to be making useful noise. And then gave me books to read. And we asked me questions about the books that she has given to me. That taught me in the early stage how to be a reader. So today I read. And as you read more, your desire to share what you've read will be there. And so you'll be pouring it out to people. And so my personality is, I'm more of an extrovert. I'm more than 50% an extrovert. Because everybody's both an extrovert and an introvert. So we have our personality. There are locations where we act as introverts, conditions that make us keep quiet. But when we have all the chance, we speak. And so your personality, you must not shy away from it. Your personality is a gift to you. And so today I make noise to earn a living, teaching and making good money. Just teaching in business school Netherlands. The next thing in shape is E, which is your experience. I've had very positive and negative experiences. Part of my negative experience is the fact that I have to fend for myself and pay my fees. I struggled so hard, I couldn't make 3 square meal, and I worked like a laundry person, doing laundry for some of my colleagues in the university. But I can tell you the truth. All those things shape me. And so today, when I earn income, I can't use it in a frivolous way. I'm very devilish with the way I spend my money. Even though I may be seen to be generous, but I'm only generous towards a cause that supports academics, education, self-development. Not general. I don't do party. I don't go to party. I don't smoke. I don't wine. And I womanize. But I womanize only one major woman. That woman is my childhood friend who has given me lovely gifts. And the truth is that the last part, every one of us have shape. We have SHAPE. But the last part is what makes the difference between me and Anna, between me and Pastor Ibanjo. And that D is the D, but I use the word shaped. The D is the decision. Decision determines your destiny. What you do with your shape determines your destiny. When I felt frustrated somehow that I was not promoted to vice presidency in Pfizer, I felt, I've seen it all. I've been served as a director for 11 years, for about 10 years. And they're just expanding my territory, my title, just a little change here and there. I wanted vice president. And I did interview 4 times for it. And it was not forthcoming. I felt a little bit on the die side, and I just took an exit. And when I took an exit, I remember my wife said, "What do you desire to do?" I said, "I don't know what I want to do, but I know what I don't want to do. And one of the things I don't want to do is that I'm not likely to be, I don't want to work in that industry. I enjoy teaching. I like to work as a consultant and teach. And since teaching was already there for Business School Netherlands, it wasn't difficult for me to move on to teaching." And I think that's the short story of my life in 15 minutes. I think you've learned one thing about my story. One of the things is shaped. I want you to take it away. Your shape is God's gift for you. What you do with that gift is your decision. And so your shape is a gift from God. Your decision is what you do with that shape. What you do with that shape is your gift back to God. And because God exists in human being, how you use your shape to benefit humanity is what God is going to demand from you when you are back with Him. He's going to say, the gift I've given to you, how have you utilized it? So if I've been given a gift of noise, make useful noise, the way Anna and myself make very useful noises wherever we go. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so very much, Prof. You know, the Yorubas will say we're just bringing the bird out of the pockets. Whoever you are, wherever you're listening from, would you come in the chat room quickly and then tell us what is that one thing about you? What is that one thing about you? This is one thing about your personality that you know, if you look at the shape, and Prof is just giving us that acronym to say, look, we talk. What is one thing people say about you? Come on in the room and tell us. If you don't know, just say, I don't know. Just say, I don't know. Okay, somebody is asking. Okay, Mr. Kolajo Femi, thank you, sir, for joining. Mr. Femi Kolajo used to be my trainer. I mean, he's still my...
The A in shape is ability, your competence,
Yes.
your skill, the things you learn. So remember that I had to learn new things at different times. I learned pharmacy from my first degree, did an MBA in order to become better as a salesperson and as a marketer. And then I did a doctorate degree in digital transformation, but I needed to become more modern, to understand the digital the trend in the world, and to be able to improve my understanding of how to use digital methodology to engage the students and the society.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So really, I wanted to get the S. You say S is special what?
Special gift. Special gift.
Okay,
gift.
Good. So
special
gentlemen, gift. Okay, so let me just go through it again. S is special gift. H is heart. A is ability. P is your personality. E is experience. This is what God gives you, shape. Now, there is a D to say shape. The D are the decisions you make, and the D is what heads you into destiny. Because God made all the shape is going to amount to nothing much if you don't take the right decisions. And that is really very apt. That is profound. Right. Thank you. Prof, in the course of your conversation, you mentioned something that's very exciting. You said something about a point in time when you were almost going to cow back because you felt, look, I can't speak my English. This is the way I can speak English and all of that. And you met with someone who said to you, hey, you can't speak phonetics, never mind, it's no showstopper. You speak the English you can speak, and that's going to take you And at the end of the day, that didn't stop you. So the question to you, Prof, is to say, help us. Many times we get discouraged, in the course of career, in the course of life and all. How have you been able to? Yeah, that was a very good example, even though it looks small, but it's not small, because you were saying your confidence was about to be battered. You could have cowed back. Yes. So would you please share with us, yes, a bit more on how do we take care of some impediments, some natural, inabilities that we face? Yes. Thank you, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much for that question. Every one of us, everybody has disability. Every single person has disability. But remember that what people say is a disability for you will actually be a strength. And so, one of the major things that the devil will do is to attack you in your greatest point of strength. And so, since I needed to communicate in order to be a good salesman, I needed to communicate in order to be a good marketer, I needed to communicate in order to be a good teacher. These are the things I love to do. But the only clause there was the fact that I cannot speak like the Americans, I cannot speak like the Europeans. And the teacher and my coach, who happens to be a mentor to me, said, don't worry, just speak your natural self. God has gifted you a form of phonetic. No phonetic is superior to the other. And if you look at some of the young guys who are jackpotting now, particularly those who jackpot in the last 10 years, you will notice the fact that they never change their phonetics. They speak English in America, in Canada, in Europe, the same English they speak in Nigeria. And those people, they understand them because they have come to recognize the fact that the confidence they have as Nigeria. Unlike our forefathers and our generation, when they go for only 6 weeks, their phonetics have changed. Just speak your own language, speak your own English, change something out. People will understand. And I built confidence in you is that you don't need to pretend to be another person. Who you are is the way God has created you. And one of the gifts I have is gift of height. I'm a 6-footer. I'm very, very tall. And so what to be expected from a 6-footer is different from what to be expected from a 2-footer. And so because I happen to be a 6-footer in reverse, so people's expectation of me is very, very low. So when I do things that the average people do, people commend me. So everybody has disability, but that disability itself, so you can't tell me that I'm a 2-footer. No. You can't say I'm short. You use the word that I am cute. I'm executively summarized. I am down to the heart. Those are the ways to describe me. And so because of people who are already repeating it, 6-footer in reverse. So I'm really a 6-footer. So you can put the verse silently. So bear this in mind, that whatever you have, be confident that everything that God has given to you is the best form of God when you are created. And so that becomes a tool for you. So expectation of people for me is low, because when God created me in his own image. And he ensured that my image, my height is not that of a charismatic 6-footer person. So that whatever I do, when I do what the average man does, people clap for me because they see my disability up front. And so they clap for me for being able to do an average work. And that motivates me to even do more. That's just it. That's it. So whatever you have, whatever gift God has given to you, just keep it. Remember that God energizes us. And he energizes us he energizes us physically, emotionally, mentally, socially, spiritually. But even though he energizes us in all those places, the foundation for all energy is spiritual. Okay. One, because you see, when fish wants to operate well, it operates better in water than on land. Elephants operate better on land than inside the ocean. So because those are the things, when God wanted to create plant, he called on the land. So when he wanted to create man, he called on himself and the people within, who are supposed to be God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost. So you cannot operate outside God's plan for your life. So the base, your foundation must be solid spirituality. Then you can now build on it your mental, your social, your emotional, your physical. You don't start from physical. Because people like Samson, they had physical energy. But when eventually that physical energy could not sustain him because he lost it spiritually. And so have a solid spiritual, have a relationship with God. If you don't have a relationship with God, you cannot be energized to do some of those things that I did. Because at times when I look backward, there are periods when I also feel weak, I feel like giving up. But God sustains me with his spiritual hand. And that has helped me in everything that I've done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. Thank you so much, Prof. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. If you joined us late, today's legend, on the center stage is Professor Lere Baale. And yes, Professor Lere Baale comes with, when you talk about the shapes, and he's, this is just dishing this to us and we're learning. Prof, you mentioned something also I thought we should learn from. You spoke to the point of to the fact that even that seeming weakness that was turned around was turned by a mentor, somebody, a teacher. Whereas every other person, they weren't looking in that direction, they will say, keep quiet. But this is a foreign woman who, maybe because of her own background and understanding, came and she knew and identified that as a strength and helped you to convert it. That's profound. I was going to ask you, say, what should we look out for? How do we spot mentors? Or is it that we should pray for those kind of people to come around our lives, or we should discount whosoever takes us down and then tag along those who are there to strengthen us?
Thank you so much, Anna, for that. We require teachers at every stage of our life. Every stage. You have a crèche teacher, you have a primary school teacher. So we have different teachers. And all of them, different names have been carved for them. So there are actually 4 categories of teachers that you need in your life. One is the formal teacher that teaches you competencies in class or teach you some things on ethics and things like that. That are the traditional teacher that we come across in schools. We also see them in Sunday school teacher. We normally talk of that, Sunday school teacher. We also need role models. They teach, not by talking to us, but we look up onto them and we read their behavior. So that most times it's very easy to spread a gospel. Not by talking, just by behavior. People say, I want to serve the God of that guy who in the means of the motivation, he just kept on renewed energy to keep on moving on. I want to serve the God that he serves. That's evangelism. So you need role models. We also need mentors. People who ordinarily provide some guide to us, career guide, things like that. They discuss with us, we have access to them. Some role models you may not have access to them, but you see them from a distance. But mentors, you can have access to him, and they can give you all kinds of things. We also have coaches who would ask you questions and challenge you. And lest I forget, another form of teacher is the counselor. And you see that they used to work counseling more in churches, but you actually require counseling in for career. Because I had to be counseled. I wanted to walk. And one of my counselors told me in the office, he said, get out. Want to come and be making money? You want to start to drive beautiful cars? Go back to school first. Go and do your MBA. He will thank me for it later in life. I thank the Lord that I went to it. So you need counselors. And you must be relating to all these 4 or 5 categories of teachers. You must be relating to them, particularly to those who look into the future. Not the person is always telling you about past. You shouldn't have as a counselor, as a teacher, as a mentor, as a model, as a role model, somebody who cannot find something good about Nigeria. There are challenges in Nigeria, no doubt about it. But in the midst of it, there are breakthroughs that people are having. Honestly, spiritually right. Not that they are doing magomago. So you must therefore look for the right categories of teacher at every stage of your career. And remember when we speak about career, remember that Joseph served. He was a careerist. He served other people for most part of his life, serving as a slave, promoted to prime minister. But when you have salary, is the reward that you are giving for being managed as a slave.
Come on now.
You have a side hustle. The side hustle can start from your shape, the gift of the Lord. So even though I was working full time for Pfizer, I was so faithful to Pfizer that when other people called me to come and be on their board, even though they are not from Sky industry, I refused. Finance house systems, I refused. I just didn't want any distraction. But I was learning. I was being tutored. I was learning how to be a teacher. And when I go on teaching trip with consulting firm, they pay me. They pay me small money, 10,000, 5,000 those days, which was a lot of money. And I used to write business plan for people, and they would pay me for it. And so I knew that I would do well in consulting. So generally speaking, have a side hustle. And me, I may not be making much money from my side hustle, but my side hustle was preparing me for beyond career. And so I'm enjoying the beauty of my side hustle today as a teacher. And so bear in mind that you need to have teachers in your life. Call it any name: mentors, counselors, coaches, role models, traditional teachers like me, local teacher who like me, whatever it is, call it anything that you need to have, because teachers have certain forms of knowledge that they will transfer. And you can never have enough money to pay for.
Wow.
An idea that comes to your mind today, within the last 20, 30 minutes I've been speaking, an idea that comes to your mind that you used to go and used to make money. How do you pay for that? For life, it's not possible. So the books you read, they are part of the teacher. The videos you watch, that's why it's not ideal for you to be relaxing using only Tage to relax. You are using only Tage of how the wife quarreled with the mother-in-law and they were doing message to each other. Because those things are not positive. You must be watching things that affirm positive things in your life. I don't have time to watch negative films. To watch films must be films that build something in you.
That's right.
Brings wisdom into your life. So, and the same thing with books. I read a lot of autobiography. I read factual books. I hate fiction. Because fiction is just most times is imagination. So those are the things that are shaped by thoughts and the way of my life. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, Professor Lere Baale. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're still in the room, we have with us Professor Lere Baale, and we want to, if you have questions, please get set, because if you have questions, in another 10 minutes, we'll begin to take questions. So you can actually let us know, indicate by virtual hand up, then you can ask the question. I think that will be fine. So we can hear you ask your question. I think that will be good. Thank you. So Prof, thank you very much, sir. I wanted you to speak to us on some embarrassing moments you've had before and how you managed it, because some of us, yes, sir, we get some things happen, and it can be in any area. It doesn't career, family, business, and all of that. Yeah.
Okay. One of the embarrassing moments I had was when I met my wife in the year 1980, October 26. And after meeting her, I saw the way she made contribution in the meeting where I met her. And I quickly followed that after the meeting and I proposed to her. And she said, "You are just knowing me less than 2-3 hours ago, you are proposing to me. Are you ashamed? What's wrong with you?" And I remember telling her, "Don't worry about, I don't care even if we have a boyfriend or things like that. All I just know is that one day I'll be married to you." And she just laughed. She laughed so much that she just said, "It is not possible," because she said she was already engaged. But I didn't do so. And because she was Ife, every time I needed to send a note to her, I would say, "My dear Ife," say, "Don't use my dear family. I don't have a relationship with you to learn that." But I kept at it. About 1.5 years later, she became my girlfriend. The rest is history. When people say, and that was a major learning for me, and we learn it also in salesmanship. If people say no to you, that's not the end. Just keep going. The scripture asks us to keep asking, to keep seeking, to keep knocking. It's in asking that you find answer. It's in seeking that you find what you are looking for. And it's in knocking. And the concept is used by all salesmen. The most difficult customers are usually the most loyal customers. So for me, that's a typical embarrassing moment. Another embarrassing moment was in my career. I used to be marketing manager for the entire business. And I felt I was doing so well. And I met my boss. I asked her, "It appears there's a vacancy on the board. I would love to be on the board." He said, "No, he's not interested in filling that vacancy now." It's okay. So what did you think I wanted? And before, there used to be a group product manager, a group marketing manager. So I said, okay. I recommended I would love to be a group marketing manager and that we should split marketing into two, which he agreed. And he split marketing into two. But he didn't make me a group marketing manager. He kept me as a marketing manager and made one of my subordinates marketing manager for the bigger part of the business, which is over the counter drugs. Of course, that was very embarrassing to me. But at that material time, I had to go into my spirituality. And God told me at that point that promotion neither comes from the east, west, or north, or south. It comes only from the Lord. And that this is the assignment that God has chosen to give to me at this material time. I'm either faithful in that assignment or I check out. So I decided to remain faithful on that assignment.
Wow.
So that assignment, I was 40% contribution to the total business. Within the first year of competition with my former subordinate, the 40% became 51%. The second year, it became 56%.
Wow.
The third year, it became 61%.
Wow.
After the third year, profit contribution was more than 70% from my head.
Wow.
That was the foundation for me to become a director. So there are times when it's supposed to be an embarrassing situation for you. God is using it as a foundation to strengthen you. And because I went through that difficult times for those 3 years, there's no problem again in the world that looks unsurmountable to me. At any time when problems occur, when challenges come, I remember how God remained faithful to me in those 3 consecutive years. How miracle occurred in the most difficult part of the business, which is the ethical business. Anna was in industry, and Anna knows that what is usually 80%. But no matter how much they tried, we tried harder in ethical, we got better results. And that was the foundation for creation of the new company, which I eventually had cause to start as an acting country manager. So the challenges of life are stepping stones for you. God wants you to learn from every challenge. He wants you to see every stumbling block as a stepping stone. he wants you to see the trials and test, because what is waiting for you at the end of those trials and tests are testimonials. And
wow.
The mere fact that I eventually got married to my childhood friend, a God's masterpiece, it's a testimony on its own, because there were a lot of people competing for her, and I was the least qualified. But I had mouth. I didn't give her any major promise, but I just kept on telling her that I know that if I make it in life, I will take care of her.
Wow.
And she believed that I could make it in life. Even though I had such a very, very low-key background, I couldn't afford a suit. I couldn't even afford jeans when I was in university. But God helped us step by step, and today, I think she's happy.
Wow. Come on, guys, are you still in the room? If you're on YouTube, can I feel you? I don't know if you are here on Zoom. Let me feel you a bit more. No. We're like 3/4 of the time. Let me feel you. Let me feel you. This is interesting. You know, there's a lot to learn here. My mind is being blown away. There are different things coming in my mind, Prof. One of them, which you spoke to earlier, and I don't want to forget, Blossom, you're chatting me privately. Let it come into the group. Thank you. You know, was the fact that the way you went after learning, I don't want us to lose that. Education. You kept educating yourself. You kept learning. You kept taking a degree from this MBA. And honestly, I think I just shadowed you. Even though I didn't know you then, I shadowed that pattern. To say, look, oh, they are doing, let me learn this, let me learn this. And when the opportunities came here, but this point of embarrassment, I don't know if anybody heard that. You went to your Oga, you said, sir, I want you to, I think we should do that. Do I have space? They say no space. Okay, I think we should split the unit. And the man said, okay. He split the unit and then made your own subordinate, the person reporting to you, gave that person the bigger part of the business. I know what it is. I know what that means. Because what that then means is invariably, it's almost like saying that person has an upper hand because he can attend meetings where you are not. But look at what God did. 3 years, I don't know who you are. I think this is for somebody, honestly, to say that whatever we are going through now, in that pathway, you know, God is at work. As long as we keep learning and we keep holding on. Thank you, thank you. There are lots of comments. People are clapping and, you know, saying that. If you have any question, it's a time to begin to, let's see your hand up. Ask Prof questions. Please ask Prof questions. Humility pays off eventually. Correct, Uche, you know, and that's really fantastic. Thank you very much, Prof. Right, now I want to take the question to, please let me see your hand up so you can ask your questions. Don't think about it. Don't give yourself the answer, just ask. Thank you. And if you want to ask in the chat room, go ahead. You can just put it in the chat room if you don't want to lift your hands to us. Prof, I know you are very well networked. That's one thing I know about you. Yes, Prof, yes, you are. You know, I want you to please help us because many of us, especially, you know, those of us who grew up religious people, you know, somehow, we have a way of not understanding the power of network and utilizing it appropriately. And I know you are a master there. Prof, do you want to tell us and help us to know how to further network and how we can leverage network in life, sir?
Okay. I'm writing a book on life transformation concepts.
Come on now.
One of the chapters there is maximizing your potential with your T4. Your T4 is your time, your treasures, your talents. And then the fourth T is the tears. That is relationship. Leadership is a gift of God for you. Every single person you met in primary school, secondary school, university, A-level, you went for a short course, you met 20 people in class, they are all assets for you. God deliberately made them to know you and for you to know them. They are to serve as bridges towards something in your future. Just like you have been a bridge to some people, towards some people's future. And so, leadership is a capital. I'm sure many of you will have read a number of things about Shubomi Balongo versus Alex Ekweme. How is investment in leadership with Ekweme during the wartime turnaround to be what Ekweme used to repay him by giving him a Lancet for the SCMB. bank. So for me, leadership is a gift of the Lord for me. And I cherish every relationship that I have. I celebrate all the people I have relationship with. I don't have to be intimate with everybody, but every relationship is important to me. And it's so important to me that I stay awake till past 12 every day. I try to send a note to everybody who is on my relationship sphere, birthday notes to them before I sleep. And in that way, it's for me, I'm celebrating their lives. I'm telling them that you are an important capital, you are an important asset to me. And of all the assets that God has given to man, human asset is the most important. It's human being that makes things happen. I worked some years ago into one of the government agencies. And the person sitting on top of that government agency happens to be my classmate in A-levels. He was in arts, social science, when I was in science. But as soon as I mentioned that I was in so-and-so class, so-and-so was my roommate, everything, he also suddenly became my own good friend as well. I mean, the names I called were people he respected. And he himself was also my classmate. But he couldn't pick my face well enough. But he remembered Baale. So leadership is key. And leadership opens doors.
That's right.
So every time, remember that when Joseph was living, I mean, when he was still in the prison, he had a relationship with other prisoners, a very positive relationship. And one of them was being released. What did he say? He said, well, and when you are back, please tell them, the palace, about my gift, the gift of the Lord in my life. Leadership. Leadership plays a very key role in transforming our lives. All the people you thought were nobody, they have become somebody today. Many of those who believe you will be nobody in life, in their lifetime, you have become somebody. And if they did not build the right kind of relationship with you, you will not be committed to their dreams. So leadership is key. Don't say because you're SU. I mean, I've never been a wine drinker. But my colleagues at Pfizer, they go to Ashade Market every evening. They report to me. They drink beer. I go with them to Ashade Market. When they get there and they are drinking beer, they will drink Star, they will drink Guinness, they will drink Guinness Star, they will drink anything, they will drink all those Star and the rest of them. I will take Malta Guinness. I will shake the bottle and pour it inside my cup, and then it will foam. And then they will throw away the bottle because they don't want the table that has, they don't want the table to attract and to be seen as a table where weak people are drinking non-alcoholic. So I also drink as if I was drinking stout, but I was drinking malt. After about 2 bottles, they will start to say many things against directors of the company. And I happen to be a director, they are missed. Me too, I'll be giving it to them. I will do as if I'm also drunk. To say some of the subordinates are also not working well, and they want to become directors. How can they become director when they are not working well? And so they love the fact that I was able to mingle with them. I did not isolate them because they are not born again. One of them, who was not born again then, is a pastor now in the US. And so you cannot play the superiority game because you are born again. No. Jesus Christ did not play superiority game for us. He said he came because of us. He came because of prostitutes. He came because of those of us who are sinners. And so when you play the superiority game before you introduce yourself, you say, I'm born again. Who is asking you? So what is wrong? But I just relate to them. Let your behavior demonstrate that you are born again or not born again. For me, because you are born again, you are going to mix, you are going to mingle. You do not mingle with the people of the world. How do they see your testimony? How do you share the message? Sharing the message is not just quoting the scripture from Genesis to Revelation. You share the message by the way you handle the challenges of life, by the way the non-verbal communication is what the non-Christians want to see in your life before they ask you, where do you fellowship? What God do you serve? That's it. I've been able to answer that question
Thank you, Prof.
In a very shocking way.
Prof, thank you in a very shocking way. Thank you so much, Prof. If you have a question, remember, let us know or put it. Somebody had put a question in the column, in the chat, and I've said, he said, if Prof had been made a director at Pfizer, about that time you wanted the directorship, would you have been able, it's almost like, where would you be today? Do you think that at the point you were requesting for that movement, if it had happened according to your desire, are you able to think, and just see the projection to see, would you be where you are? Would it have been better, or where you are now, it's common now? Yeah.
The truth is that the scripture said there's a time for everything. So, because that's part of the thing I learned, it wasn't my own time. And so if it were to be my time, nothing would have stopped it. But when it was time, it doesn't take long for anything to happen when it's God's time for anything.
That's true.
So, but the main fact that, because you must also remember that during those 3 periods of test and trial for me, when I was waiting to become a director in Pfizer, I got a job that paid me 6 times my salary. And I prayed and I fasted. And I had no peace to live. What God was asking me that, I promise you I will make you a director in this company so that you'll be a testimony to other non-believers who are inside this company. So why are you in a hurry to go and take, is it money you are running after? And I like money because at that period I really needed money. And I didn't want to really go and join the company. So when they asked me how much would you like to have? I didn't want them to keep troubling me. So I just said, I just called a figure, 6 times my salary. And they said they would get back to me. And they got back to me and they hired me. But I refused to go. I stayed back. And I suffered 3 years.
That's right.
But eventually I became. So God has a plan for your life. And no matter whatever you are going through, remember there are seasons of life. Seasons. There's a winter, there is spring, there's autumn, there's summer. And each one of them comes with various good things. Every one of them, every time has its own, every season has its own good time. And also remember as well that there's always a reason and a season for everything. So God can send Anna to me for a reason today. And she will send that to me only for a season. Because God does not want me to make Hannah the Jesus Christ of my life. So the only person that is sent to you for life is your spouse. So even your kids, they leave you with time. If you remember, your daughter will go and marry. If her husband is sick and you are sick, you will say, sorry, daddy, I have to take care of my husband. So it means you are secondary. That's the truth. You can ask Anna. Anna takes better care of pastor than any other person on earth. So the same thing with if your son. By the time your son is finishing secondary school, he has forgotten you before you finish university self. So the truth is, you must ensure that everything that you do, you remember that there's a season and there's a reason.
There's a reason.
So any season of life that you find yourself, enjoy it. Thank God for opening up this morning. And just enjoy it. Me, I'm an incredible optimist. So for me, there's something good that comes out of it. I can learn something from a friend who is a robber. And say, what do you want to learn from a robber? You want to be stealing? He said, no. It's the details of analysis and the planning that takes place before it goes to rob. The risk management. So you can take that positively and learn it from him. So you must be a perpetual learner and must remember that no matter what season of life comes to you, always ask God, what is it you want me to learn? There's no way I would have been able to touch as many lives as I'm touching today. If I'm the head of a 680-something people, I will be able to be CEO of a 689 people, 84 people. But today, I've touched thousands of people who are my students, who are my graduates. I've taught them some things. I've had intimate timing with them. that I could ever have as a teacher, as a leader of a corporation, because hierarchy will not allow me to reach all of them. But teaching has allowed me to reach all my students. Training, I've trained thousands of people in different companies, and I've shared my life stories along the line of teaching that has touched people. And I've given them hope that if this boy who happens to be a vendor, when he was in secondary school, be this today, I could be somebody. So for me, every single thing that God gave to me, maybe if he doesn't want me to be a director in finance, I wouldn't have been. But he ensured I became a director at all costs. Ever before the new company emerged. So I became a director in the old company. Before the old company was splitted into two, and I went to head the new company. Wow. And my former boss took a lead to buy the old company. So all that is most important is for you to know that God has a purpose for your life. And because he has a purpose for your life, you must continuously walk within the center of that dream for you.
Right. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof. Yes, still going. Questions. We're beginning to wrap, begin to come down. We're going to begin to descend. We're descending now. Okay, I'm seeing a hand up. All right, so let me ask you to unmute, please, and ask the question. Would you please unmute and ask the question?
Thank you very much, Prof. This is Ayodele Banjo. That's me that is asking this question. It's been quite, yeah. Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
There are two questions I would love to ask.
Yes, sir.
First one, looking at just taking learning. Now you said when the responsibility was split, you were given the ethical business to manage. Now, before I made a director, when the company was eventually splitted, you were also given the acting country manager, which was for the ethical business. Now, with the benefit of hindsight,
yes,
God was preparing you for a future responsibility without you knowing.
Correct.
But initially, it came like a demotion.
It came like a demotion, but it was giving me it was focusing my attention on the most strategic part of the business.
Which was going to be a leverage for you in the future.
Correct. And indeed, the growth of that part of the business was what qualified me to go and to lead the team of the new business.
Yeah. Now, based on that, how do you want to, using that, now based on that experience, what is it that you've shared with us, and how do we now, what's the word I want to use? What I can call, based on that learning, because naturally for many of us, if you had that kind of a thing, these people they want to frustrate me out, and they will have just walked away here and there, not knowing there is something bigger in future, which we couldn't see now, which later came out. Now, from that, how do we counsel other people who are in career? A lot of people move, and in career, a lot of things happen to people here and there. And the next thing we want to do is for you want to vote away. People don't like me. They want to frustrate me here. All kind of politics here and there. So, based on your experience, what will you? What's the message you want to share with people? Looking at what happened to you from that perspective. That's one. Then two is the fact that, sir, your career journey with different bosses you have worked with here and there. I know what I was speaking with you. You were telling me about one of your bosses that talked about the fact that you were pretending you were hypocritical or whatever here and there. But whereas in real sense of it, you have conditioned yourself that at every point in time, there is no person, whether good or bad, you can learn for. So what is the message you are telling us from these two experiences? That's what I want to just share.
Thank you so much, my pastor. Every time, first, when I had a one-on-one discussion with you, I wanted to avoid any form of discussion of my career in the open space. But you counsel me and say your life, some of the things you say might end up being a testimony that can encourage somebody. In the books that I'm writing, I've reached, they are bullet, they have like concepts, about one-page concept each. I've written up close to about 100 on the things I've learned in my career. But the most important things that I've learned in my career is about a dozen. I won't explain it, I will just touch it, pam, 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 pam. But I know I can't keep you. If it's me and Nana, we can be here for the next 6 hours. We will not be tired. But people who have signed in with their data will be tired. So, number one thing in my career, in the early part of my career, I came across a mentor. Did I say a mentor? I wasn't seeing him regularly, but he would just teach me bullet points. Few times he sees me. I've grown to a level today that at times he seeks for my opinion on things. And it feels as if I've learned more deeply about the things that he was teaching me. Number one thing that I learned from the early part of my life, and I learned from my mom, is humility. Remember that because some of today's generation, just because you have an MBA, you think you know more than your boss. MBA is just an ability. It's not everything. Your boss has more experience than you. And remember, your boss did not make himself your boss. Your boss was appointed under the guidance of God. Somebody else chose your boss to be your boss. He didn't choose himself. So you must be humble enough to listen to him, to make his priority your priority. Your job description may have 200 items. The last part of your job description say, and any other assignment and any other thing will be assigned to you by your boss. That is the most important of all your job description. That particular line that you think is, so his priority must be your priority. So when my boss gives me assignment, and he also has other direct reports, and he gives you assignment to go and do for the next 1 week, by Tuesday, Wednesday, you must go back to him and say, this is what we have done so far about the assignment. Is it making sense? Am I aligned with your thoughts? What you have done is that you have done for validation. And if you are not in the right path, we will correct you almost immediately, so that you can meet the deadline. Let's say you now finish on Thursday. You go to him on that Thursday as you are submitting to him. On Friday, you go to him and say, is there any other thing I can do to help you with your workload, sir? It's not as if you don't have enough work. But what you are doing indirectly, that you are trying to let him know that you are an asset to him. Even if he doesn't like your face, he doesn't like your religion, or maybe he doesn't like your tribe or anything, but we know you are an asset to him or her. So I played that game well.
Wow.
Always, I'm not a lazy person when it comes to working. Because my mom has educated me that work does not kill. It's laziness that kills. So humility is one. Number two, quickly, is that you must, on your own, you must have a dream. You must understand God's purpose for your life. All your dreams must be aligned with the purpose of God for your life. And the purpose of God for your life is already encapsulated in your shape. God has already given you some things. I mean, you don't have to beg Ghana to speak. It's a gift. So if he ends up speaking to 1 million people tomorrow, communicating, it's not because there's a miracle somewhere. That miracle is already inside of her to communicate, to speak, to warm up to people. And so number two is you must have a dream. That dream must be aligned with your purpose. Number three, you must respect the dream that God has given to you. So each time you see dream, remember purpose. Every time you remember purpose, remember your shape. There are many of you say, I don't even know what I'm good at or what I'm not good at. Whatever you are doing naturally is a pointer to the things that God wants you to do with your life. Another pointer to what God wants you to do with your life is whatever you hate is a pointer to what God wants you to do in your life. So when you ask Pastor today, Pastor hates to see people who are not born again. Every opportunity to preach the gospel is desirous to do that. I see, when I look into the word, I see the entire world as filled with a lot of ignorant people. So I want to teach. So the challenges of your life itself can also be a pointer to what God has called you to do. And when I'm talking about call, it has nothing to do with money. Because when you are in the center of your calling, you may not make money, but you have fulfillment. That's why I'm smiling every day. I'm a happy man any day, but I'm doing what I enjoy to do. Number 3, respect your dream. Number 4, desire your dream. When you desire your dream, you will wake up in the morning and pursue it. Because the proof of a desire is pursuit. I desire to be a professor, but I could not have become one unless I pursue. So I had to go back to school and read and study and read and read and read. And I remember my wife used to look at me and say, Lepo Agba. You know, in Yoruba language means adult education. One of the people, my son had a PhD at the age of 28. One of the people supervised my doctorate project was just a little bit older than my son, who is 38. So we know beyond reasonable doubt that, and I was very humble to him and said, I've done it the way you wanted me to do, any other thing. So and he loved humility, and he knew I really desired to have this thing. And I was willing to do whatever he wants me to do academically to get it done. And then I love the concept of imagination. Remember that Joseph was a man of imagination. He was a man of dreams. I always imagine myself, they used to call me professor when I was in the university, but I never liked it because I was using glasses. And so I stopped using glasses, but I didn't like to become professor. But when my son has a PhD, the thing really is like, this boy, as young as you are, how did you do it? Quick. And he has already worked for 4 years before he went back to university to do PhD. I said, this thing that he's using to oppress the rest of us in the family, I must also do it. So I had an imagination. And imagination helped me in my career. Imagination allowed me to know that I wasn't working for Anna as my boss. No. Your earthly bosses are just placed there temporarily by God for purpose of teaching you something. Your real boss is Jesus Christ, the Lord God Almighty. He said, when you walk as if you are walking unto the Lord and not unto man, and at the fullness of time I will give you your due reward. When you walk as if you are walking unto the Lord and not unto man, no matter the motivation that comes from man, it will not touch you, it will not affect you. And when you do that, the mere fact that you are able to survive and you are still smiling in the midst of them frustrating you, annoys them the more. And so they will make mistakes. And they will promote you even when the time they don't want to promote you. Six. Number 6. Have faith in your dream. Because you need faith. You need faith because if your dream is a God-given dream, it requires the participation of God to make it happen. And only God can connect you to a future you do not know. Remember that future is always in your imagination. You always be connected to it. I'd always desire that as a teacher, I didn't know I was going to end up having a doctorate or things like that. I always believed I want to be a teacher and just be teaching in various schools all around. I'd be teaching in Nigeria, I'd be teaching overseas, I'd be playing golf all around, and so on and so forth, which I'm still going to do sooner than later. Just moving around the whole world, teaching, having 2-3 hours in every university and every major university, and then go to play golf. That's number 7.
Yes, sir.
God demands from man. When God created man and woman in the Garden of Eden, he asked them, he gave them instruction. What God demands from man is obedience. You must obey, which is obedience is vital to achieving your dreams. You cannot be working towards career growth in your place of work, and you are competing with every boss on the girls. Every girl that your big bosses are interested, you're also interested in them. So you must recognize that. So you can also be messing around. You cannot be seen to be fraudulent. You must live above. So obedience to principles of ethics, integrity. Number 8, goals. Before I sleep every day, I plan for tomorrow.
Planning.
Those who have been to my office know that I have a notebook. I go through the notebook to look at what I've done today. I look at what I'm supposed to have done, and then I transfer the things I didn't do today to tomorrow. And I do that every single day. You must set goals. God set goals. And if you look at how he set goals, he created all the things that man will need before he created man. Otherwise, there would be nothing for man to eat. But he created it on day 1. Number 9, act on your dream. I work in business school called the Action Learning Business School. The word action learning means God could keep, he could keep his dream, it will remain a dream. But he acted on his dream and made it a reality. He created. You must act on your dream. You must start somewhere. We started with the first class, March 2003, in Business School Netherlands. No single graduate has graduated from the school when I became a director. Today, I could boast of 899 graduates. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first. And we have recruited over 2,000 students in the school. So what this means is that you must act on your dream. Number 10, every single day you plant a seed. You plant a seed daily towards your dream. Today, as I speak to you, this is part of my life dream. To motivate people, to encourage them. And so this platform that has been given to me, rather than see it as a self-advertising opportunity, which I don't like, I saw it as an opportunity to minister to people, to encourage them in their career. Whether you're born again or not born again, it doesn't matter to me at this stage. What matters to me is the fact that you have a purpose. There's a God's purpose for your life inside that career, and he wants you to fulfill it. You cannot be lazy around and be blaming the bosses. You must work so hard that it becomes difficult for your boss to promote anybody above you.
Exactly.
The boss can promote your subordinate to be at par with you, but if it's difficult, make it difficult for him to promote that subordinate above you. And the only way you can do that is to refuse to be demotivated, to laugh at the things they do to you to demotivate you, to put their case before God before you leave the house of the body, and to pray useful prayer for them. Don't curse them. Just pray that God will give them wisdom. And the foolish will that wisdom will make them to sign your promotion. They will have promoted you before they remember. Number 11.
Okay, I thought it was 10. We're
going number ahead. 10. Sorry. Yeah, number 10 is plant a seed daily.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's number 10. Number 11 is water your seed every day.
Okay.
Water your seed.
Okay.
Every day.
All right, sir.
And remember that when you water the seed, it's going to grow.
That's right.
If it's a God's plant that is planting in your life, number 12, which is the final. Okay. You remember that if it's a God's plant in your life, he has planted you, you will be able to withstand all seasons. So always remember that God is God of all seasons. And so that dream will stand the test of time. No matter the season, you will always triumph. The error that you make at any season will become an asset for you in the next season. Just like Pastor mentioned, my demotion, in quotes, which was supposed to be like a demotion, ended up being a foundation for me for my promotion.
Whoa, Prof, I know that this is heavy. Thank you so very much. Oh my God, thank you. We have 8 minutes more. And in these 8 minutes, I know somebody had asked a question.
Yeah.
And the person had said, meanwhile, as I'm speaking, there is a poser. If you know Prof, or if you're beginning to know him, if you look at Prof's attire, Prof's dressing, what is one particular, for those who know Prof, if you don't know him, don't worry. Those who know Prof, what is one thing that a brand element that distinguishes Prof from other people? If you know the answer, first to give me the answer, go ahead. So while that is ongoing, someone asked a question to say that, that you said the enemy attacks from all, usually the enemy will attack us from our point of greatest strength, right? But that you should please, my God, that you should please explain a bit more. He said, because usually what we've learned over the time was that the enemy will attack you from the point of weakness. There's the Prof, I'm sure you know the story of the weakest link, to say the weakest link is where the enemy comes from. Yeah. So now, okay, so but
thank you so much, Anna, and thanks for that question. The truth is, your greatest strength, your strength is a point of your weakness. So when you look at Anna and myself, we are speakers. We like to speak. So our spouses, we have thoughts to remind us once we are going to you speak too much. They see it like a weakness. But the truth is that that's also our greatest strength. So your greatest strength can also be your greatest weakness. That's one. So no matter whichever way people therefore see it, if they say, oh, enemy attacks from the point of greatest strength, it's because the enemy utilizes that strength as a point of entry. And so your strength, when your strength becomes so strong, you think you are so strong that you are no longer vulnerable.
Come on.
And because humility is sent out. And so that becomes a point of entry for the enemy. Remember the story of Samson. So it was his major strength that became his major weakness, because he thought he still had that strength, but it was gone. So a weakness will also be a point of entry. But also remember, like I mentioned earlier, your weakness, your greatest weakness, or the things that hurts you the most, the things that pains you the most, is a pointer to what God has set you up to address. So you see some people, they feel a lot of pain when they see people who are prostitutes, because they were prostitutes at one point in their life, and it hurts them. They want to do everything humanly possible to get more people out of prostitution. And at times, people are not prostitutes, but they have been close to a prostitute to understand that the prostitute can actually be transformed. And so they are willing to therefore render the help and serve as a bridge for them, for their life to be transformed and for them to become useful. So always guide, but please, by my own understanding of leadership, you don't play by your weaknesses. Please, don't let people tell you these are your weaknesses. Your strength, don't bother about your weaknesses. That strength that you have, keep on investing in it. Keep on investing in it. It will be growing. It will be growing. A time will become so big, become a great giant that enemies will not even move near you again. Just, for example, people said I speak well. I was a good salesman, good marketer. Anytime I'm presenting my product in the marketplace, a lot of doctors want to prescribe. But yet, when I came to BSN in the year 2016 or so, or 2016, November 1, I joined Toastmaster as a way to strengthen my communication skill. And within a space of 2 years, I'd completed all my speeches. And in the third year, I was given a distribution. 5% of people start the Toastmaster training completely to that level. So the truth is, anything you want to do. And today, I go for courses on communication. I ran courses in various organizations on communication during the COVID period. And I'm still doing more courses. So I believe that every one of us must understand the fact that our strength, our opportunities for enemy to enter, our weaknesses, also opportunities for enemy to enter. And that's why the scriptures say, those who stand should be careful. So that when you stand and you think you have stood, and you do not understand that you are standing on the foundation of Christ, you can fall. So that's why you need to really stand and stand on the word of God, because that is one thing that God himself cannot go against. Thank you.
Whoa, come on, everyone, wherever you are, thank you. I can see a few people from Europe. I know one or two. I've seen a few names that are from Europe, maybe people from the US or Canada, wherever you've joined from. Thank you so much. Would you come in the room and let's celebrate Professor Lere Baale once again? You can see.
Please permit me to acknowledge the presence of my mentor, and DTM, Femi Collage. Those are the people who mentored me in Toastmaster.
Oh my God.
And I must also acknowledge the presence of my former president in EO, Mrs. Fumi Babinti Ashayi, a mentor to me on entrepreneurship. And I also have a mentor in the integrated communication, integrated marketing communication area, who is here. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Prof, you know the world. Did you see the power of networking? Oh my, please, would you come in? Yes, let's give it all. Let's say thank you to Prof. Prof, thank you so very much, sir. Man, I was writing and writing and writing. Toastmaster, Pastor Femi Collage, Prof, you people are taking me there. I've not done any training on speaking at all, not one in my life.
Join Toastmaster. Every 2 weeks, we are the number one breakfast Toastmaster in Nigeria. So we are the best. But for many institutions, breakfast Toastmaster.
By the way, BSN, Business School Netherlands, they are Fajri, that is GRA. It's recommended. This school is recommended for anyone. Of course, it's not it's an advanced learning, but with Prof heading and then people from all over the world. I've met with people who've graduated or who did is a postgraduate, who've worked in here and they're doing very well. Honestly, if you need to, if there's one thing you have from Prof today is the place of education, learning, increasing learning, 360 degree. But that's one thing I'm going with, you know.
Please allow me to say one more sentence.
Yes, sir.
Please, people around you, if you really want to learn, let me talk to husband. Let your wife go for further studies.
Come on now.
My wife, I had a second degree when I got married to a first degree holder, but my wife has second degree, has an MBA, and has a second master's degree before I went for my doctorate. So what that means is that I was the only illiterate in my family before I went for my doctorate. But my daughter already has 2 master's degrees. My wife has 2 master's degrees. My son has PhD ever before I registered for my doctorate degree. So because I surrounded myself with people who are better off than me, it inspired me to do something. Either have a second master's like the least of them or go for a doctorate degree. So please build your spouses. When you build your spouses and you build your children, it will also inspire you to build yourself. Thank you.
Wonderful. Wow, thank you so much, Prof. Somebody is asking about the link. I've just dropped my telephone number, 08033062129. So you can send me, so let me send the link to you. It's a school to be. Honestly, we can go on and on, but I want to say thank you, Prof. We have to close 8:30, so we're about 2 minutes later now. Thank you very much. It's on YouTube. So gentlemen, I want to plead with you for those of us who are on WhatsApp, sorry, on Zoom. Would you please go ahead and share that link? Let other people learn. You know, even though this is not supposed to be a church thing, but you see, one thing about Prof is a pastor in the marketplace. I got to know that sometime. I've always known that, but it got clear to me. You see everything she's done. With this platform is not, but you see, the fundamentals of who he is had to play up. And God factor is everything about him. And that's what we've seen. Come on. Okay, Prof has even put on the website there. Yeah, but if you need to know more, reach me and then I can link you to Prof. Thank you very much, everyone. On behalf of the legends who put this together, Wisdom Feast, who is the visionary, Blossom, who is the admin and the secretary, and all, we want to say thank you very much, sir. We are grateful. Thank you. For everyone who is joining us tonight, thank you for your patience. Thank you for staying. Thank you for the learnings. Go and train your wives. Hey, Pastor Ayodele Oyebanjo, I'm going to...
wives, go and train your husband as well.
Wives, go and train
your spouses.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Swinburne. Dr. Dr. Funmi, thank you. Mikolaja, thank you. My former Oga, always Oga and always encouraging. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Everybody, love you all. Take care. We keep next month. We meet again. This program is every last Sunday of the month. So God willing, another legend is going to be featured. And if you want to know what we did last month, we started just last month, please go on YouTube 360 Impact Hub. That's where we're going to find it. Thank you. And Prof, finally say all us well to Mama. Tell her we love her.
I will.
Yes, thank you,
So
sir. Thank you,
thanks for the
everyone.
opportunity, Pastor Oyebanjo. And
Thank
thank you,
you,
Pastor Mrs. Oyebanjo.
Thank
We
you.
love you for what you are doing to womanhood, to the youth, and all the programs that you are running to inspire the next generation. We can keep on complaining about Nigeria, or we can do something like we are doing, inspire other people to see the beauty of this nation and to ensure that the future generations see the beauty of Nigeria. God bless you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.